You know, even though I've been practicing calisthenics for the better part of 2 decades, even just working on the basics still makes me feel like Goku. I don't mean like Goku. That was badly worded, I'm sorry. When people think about calisthenics, they usually think about all the advanced stuff they can do, like planches, one-armed handstand push-ups, and all kinds of amazing, very impressive exercises. Don't get me wrong. However, if you truly want to build an amazing physique and you want to work on your quality of life and longevity, you don't need any of the advanced exercises. In fact, working on the basics, like classic overhead pull-ups or even classic push variations, is more than enough to master your full body strength, control, and even your mobility. So today we're going to check out some of these exercises, these basics that you should definitely work on and that you can use by themselves to build your entire physique. So if you're ready, let's go and have some fun. Step number 1, preliminaries. The most basic of things you need to master will be arm support. And you can start out very easy by just keeping your arms fully extended and holding as long as you can this sort of plank position. Same goes for extended arm support on the dip bar, and of course extended arm support on the gymnastic rings or on TRX bands, whatever you have. This moves us to the arm bending categories, and we will separate that into 2 chapters, starting with the push exercises. And we only need 4 of these to basically cover our entire anterior chain with a little bit of our posterior chain added in our upper body. Starting with a classic push-up variation, a very narrow push-up variation, a unilateral push-up variation where one arm is always extended while the other one is bending, and a dynamic circular push-up variation for maximum inclusion of our entire upper body musculature for control, strength, endurance, and flexibility, because that movement is going to open up your entire chest as a stretching bonus as well. We even have some biceps inclusion, which is not that usual when we are doing push exercises. And our second category is, of course, the pulling arm bendy exercises, starting with the underhand biceps dominant chin up, the wide grip overhand latissimus dominant pull up, the overhand archer pull up with added chest and shoulder strength and mobility, and the typewriter pull-up for maximum shoulder engagement and an insane amount of total body control. Now, if you're struggling to learn how to do a pull-up in general, you can check out this video where we go through it step by step how to learn these more advanced pull-up variations. Now, this moves us to our 3 overhead support exercises, and all we're gonna need for that is some sort of box or elevation, whatever you use, it doesn't really matter. Getting to a squat position, place both your hands flat on the ground, fingers as open as you can for maximum surface area. We're going to elevate our feet right here, extend our arms, lengthen our shoulders, start extending our legs as well, and then we're gonna push our chest towards said box, opening up our shoulders and chest, going into somewhat of a thoracic extension, and we're gonna try and work our way up to holding 60 seconds. This will build our foundation of overhead support, and we're gonna use that for the upcoming 2 exercises. With the first one, getting close to a wall, once again, we're gonna walk up with our feet, just like so, get as close as we dare, push our chest towards that wall, once again lengthening our shoulders, opening up our chest, lengthening our legs as well, and pushing them against each other. We're gonna try and hold this one for up to 60 seconds. And once we have mastered that, we can also add the third exercise, open up your legs, and all we need to do from here is sway to the left side, sway to the right side, and all we're doing is putting as much weight as we can on one side, like so, before we switch and put a little bit more weight on the other side. You can play around with it a little bit, go fast, go slow, and have a little bit of fun with it. This way, we can take off all the balancing that we need for a handstand and concentrate on full body tension as well as strength. And if after that you feel like you want to work on a handstand, you can go right ahead and add that to your repertoire as well. This moves us to our final exercise category, and we're once again going to differentiate between 2 different clusters. When it comes to leg exercises, we're going to work on symmetrical exercises where we work both legs simultaneously at the exact same speed and with the exact same range of motion, like the classic squat for instance. And here we want to start learning how to lower into a complete ass to grass deep squat without our feet raising. If you struggle with that, the easiest thing you can do is use an elevation for your heels only, because if you elevate your heels above your toes, it will be much easier to lower very deeply into a squat position without requiring the necessary mobility in your hips, knees and ankle, as well as the necessary strength in your core and hip flexors. And over time, you can start reducing said elevation and start working with both feet flat on the ground. This will be your very first, most basic leg exercise and strength foundation. And moving us to the second cluster, being asymmetrical or unilateral movement patterns, we are going to use the Cossack squat, one of my absolute favorites and probably my favorite leg exercise in general. We're gonna once again have a couple of variations this time so we can target our entire leg musculature. So level number one is just learning how to bring your hips to knee height. Level number two is lowering down into a complete Cossack squat, raising your heel and opening up into an external rotation in your left hip. So we have a nice stretch in our hamstrings. Level number three is lowering down once again, and this time we're gonna bring our knee down, push our hips forward, lengthen our hip flexors and quads while strengthening our posterior chain in the legs. Because if we work like so, we have more quad dominance, and then we can add posterior chain strength as well. Once we have worked on that, we can move on to the next variation, adding more mobility and more stretch by crossing over left hand to the right foot, as well as right hand to the left foot. And this final variation is a bonus for those of you who want to add even more mobility and flexibility work to their calisthenics exercises, lowering once again into a complete Cossack, right hand behind the right leg, meaning the hand behind the extended leg, and we're gonna push our hip up, lengthening our entire anterior chain in the left side while flexing our entire posterior chain. And then we're gonna switch it up, forward, all the way up, all the way down, crossing over, left hand behind the left leg, and push up, lengthening the right side while flexing the posterior chain all the way. Now, while there are a myriad of other squatting and leg exercises, which you can check out here if you want to advance those even more, these will be more than enough to build an amazing foundation for literally anything you're going to require in your entire life when it comes to leg strength and leg mobility. Now, this way you have a full body beginner calisthenics routine, and you can use that to build your entire physique, working on your strength, your endurance, and your mobility, as well as your coordination and mind-muscle connection. If you're someone who wants to build more mass and work a little bit more on hypertrophy, you can do most of these exercises with added weight, being using a weighted vest or adding some sort of belt with weights attached to them. As for the programming, start working your way up to a full minute. Go for perfect execution and focus on form. Forget about how many reps, forget about how long it takes you, and start building up to doing a full minute of each of these exercises. And over time, you can start increasing that time the same way we would use progressive overload for any other exercise. And this way, you can make your workouts as simple as possible with the bare minimum of exercises, yet have the full effects and the full benefits without needing to complicate things or think about anything else. But with that said, once again, sadly, that's all the time I have left for you today. If you like the video, guys, and subscribe, and please check out other videos on this channel, because we literally have new ones every single day, which means that I will see you guys tomorrow. So until then, Captain Cairo, peace out.